Finance and Entrepreneurship. And I am Christy Carlson, Senior Manager of School Garden Programming at Green Our Planet. And I'll introduce myself here on this slide. And also feel free to take down my email address just for future reference. If you have any questions, it's right there on the screen for you. But like I said, my name is Christy Carlson. I'm really excited to be here with all of you today. Thank you so much for choosing to be a part of this session. So I am, like I said, Senior Manager of School Garden Programming at Green Our Planet, and I have also been a teacher in the past. So before taking the position as Senior Manager at Green Our Planet, I was a third grade teacher for a few years at Guilford Elementary School in Plainfield, Indiana. And before that, I lived in Las Vegas, so that's my connection to Las Vegas. After graduating from Indiana University, my now husband and I moved to Las Vegas, and we were both avid rock climbers, and Las Vegas was just calling our name, so we moved out there. I taught at Kaylin Elementary School for a year. If any of you are Kaylin, well, no, this is middle school, high school, so none of you will be Kaylin, but I taught at Kaylin Elementary School for a year. I taught second grade there, and then I actually worked at Green Our Planet as a school garden coordinator, and then moved on to program manager at Green Our Planet. And then after a few years, my husband and I decided to move back to where we're from in Indiana, and that's where I am now. So we've been back for a few years. And I live in Bloomington, Indiana with my husband and my 1.5-year-old daughter, Matilda. We have a hobby farm at our house, and we still love to rock climb. We also enjoy anything outdoors, like mountain biking. We also love to windsurf. And we are also beekeepers. We've been keeping bees for about 3 years. So this presentation is not about beekeeping, but if you ever want to talk about beekeeping, take my email down. I would love to talk with you about that. I'm very passionate about beekeeping. So that is a little bit about me. And now I'll keep moving forward in my slides, but I always like to start out by saying that everything that Green Our Planet does that has to do with financial literacy is made possible by our financial institution partners that are listed here. We could not provide anything that we provide. We couldn't do any of our curriculum or farmers markets without these volunteers. So I always like to include them at the beginning of my presentation as a thank you to them, and just so everyone knows that this is made possible through these awesome financial institution partners. And today I will go through a little bit of a program overview. I'll talk about who Green Our Planet is, how Green Our Planet's tied in with financial literacy. I'm actually going to give you access to a middle school and high school financial literacy curriculum. And we'll go over those lessons in the curriculum as well. And then we'll talk about student-run farmers markets, and hopefully you'll leave inspired to either, if you already have a garden or a hydroponics system at your school, you'll be inspired to run a farmer's market at your school and use the financial literacy curriculum to help. Or if you don't have a program with Green Our Planet yet, that is okay. Maybe this presentation will inspire you to reach out and see what we can do for your school. So, and I kind of already went over this, but my objective for you is to leave this session ready to teach Green Our Planet financial literacy curriculum in your classroom and or host or participate in a student-run farmers market. All right, so first things first, I'm going to go over a little bit about who Green Our Planet is, what we do, and how this all ties into financial literacy. So what we do, Green Our Planet in short is a school garden and hydroponics program, but with a big mission and lots of heart. Green Our Planet has a mission to bring STEM into schools and the way of real life experiences. And we know that the children of the world will soon be taking care of our planet. So it's up to us to give teachers a way to teach them the importance of the environment and financial literacy. You'll see in this presentation, but we are all about enabling teachers to teach students really important concepts and create, and this next slide goes goes into this, but to do so, we help run programming for outdoor gardens and indoor hydroponic systems at schools. These gardens serve as living laboratories that inspire students to become the next generation of scientists, farmers, chefs, and entrepreneurs. So that is essentially what we're helping you as a teacher do, is to bring this to your students and for you to use us as a tool to do so. So Green Our Planet is, we are growing at an exponential rate. We started just in Las Vegas, and when I worked with Green Our Planet back in like 2017, 18, we were just diving into areas right outside of Vegas, like Mesquite and Pahrump. But now we actually have a hydroponic system and program in the Arctic Circle. So that is a pretty big deal. We've expanded a lot, and it's really amazing to see so many different areas starting to jump on board with Green Our Planet and becoming a Green Our Planet school. And with online teaching and with the online teaching and technology boom, we really were able to start reaching further and further with our programming. We have hydroponics programs all across the United States, as well as garden programs now. We just started expanding our garden program called Garden Connect nationally. So as you see on the map on the left, the blue dots are hydroponics and the green are outdoor garden, but I will say that we have so many hydroponics that they cover up the green dots, so you can't really see the outdoor garden dots as well. But and then on the right, obviously that's Las Vegas, and those are all of the schools that we've ever worked with before, that we've ever been involved with. So lots and lots of schools. We have really big impact, and we're continuing to make that even better. And one of our biggest goals, actually, coming up soon, is to better support our middle school and high school teachers, because we kind of started out as an elementary school program, but we've expanded to middle school and high school. So we are actively trying to build our resources for middle schools and high schools and provide what you need, because we know that that's different than what an elementary school teacher might need. So lots of expansion. We're really excited about it. Our programs are becoming very efficient and super helpful for our teachers. So our Farmpreneur program. So our Farmpreneur program is a part of all of the programming that we do, whether it be hydroponics or outdoor garden. And in this program, students learn how to write a business plan, how to become an entrepreneur. They learn about budgeting, role of banks and credit unions, career paths, simple and compound interest, and much more. So this really ties into everything that we do. We are huge proponents of students being entrepreneurs, running their own businesses, and using their garden or hydroponic systems to do that, because we're all about real world experiences. And one of the coolest things that we do, actually my absolute favorite thing that Green Our Planet does, is that every October and April, we host the giant student farmers markets. I have been to 2 of them. I actually think maybe more. I said 2 at the last presentation, but I think it's more. And at all of the times I've ever been, I've been brought to tears, literally brought to tears, watching these students run their own businesses, become passionate about what they're doing. They're selling, they're marketing their products. They are the owners of their business, and it's really cool. We have elementary school, middle schools, and high schools at our farmers markets, and I have a video to play for you, actually, because my words don't do it justice, and I'm going to really quickly optimize so that you can hear and see that. But you just got to hear from the kids. It's amazing. You'll see from the video that their experience at the market is the experience of a lifetime. So hang on one second. I'm going to share sound and optimize for video clip, and then I will play this video. And if for any reason you cannot hear or see the video, let me know, and I'll move that box there. There we go. And just come off of mute and let me know, or say something in the chat, because I can't see your pictures now.
So they're $1. This is fantastic. I bought some brownie shoes. I love this.
For only $3. $3 only at booth 13. Help support Tar Academy at booth 13. $3 only.
We grew all of this in our garden, and we did all of these. We have a lot of cool stuff.
Can you give me back a 10 and you guys can keep the rest? I saw the fava beans. They look absolutely amazing. These kids are doing a great job and super excited to be able to come out and support them. Being in the food world, seeing kids interested in growing their own produce and enjoying what they eat really kind of is uplifting and inspiring to me as a chef.
Would you guys like some hair? We're learning about selling and how to give, how to do money, basically. Or basically marketing. Like some fresh radishes.
And advertising.
Like fresh radishes. You have what?
You guys have grown?
Yeah.
They're freshly grown. Guaranteed.
We even got a tip for another one. And to think that all of our precious plants from our school are making other people's dinners and making them happier and bringing them food, it's amazing. What we sold at our booth was we sold hydroponic lettuce and we also sold plants from our garden. Organic foods for sale, $2 each bag of cilantro, mustard, funnel. And I learned that the more you work together as a team, the more you can make and the more you can provide from it.
Yes, I did quite enjoy it. It's probably just the accomplishment you feel after growing these things for 6 months and then you finally selling them and people actually enjoying the product that you create.
All right, now I'm going to just move my screen back to our presentation and give me just a moment. All right, I have seen that video a million times and it just every time it's just really, really cool what kind of experience these kids get out of coming to the Giant Student Farmers Market. I just want to double check. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, where it has the pictures of the students in the hats. We're good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Awesome. Yes, I just love the farmers market. But we are actually having our April Giant Student Farmers Market coming up very soon on April 21st at downtown Summerlin. Some of you probably recognize the video. That was our last spring market, downtown Summerlin, April 21st. And just curious, is anybody on the call either going to the farmers market with any students, or your school is maybe, or you have been before? Just curious, because you never know, you may have been in the video, so you're famous if you're in the video. But I will give you I'll give you the link to this PowerPoint, by the way. And you'll have in here the Giant Student Farmers Market link is like a Facebook event link. You can also just search it on Facebook, so that if you have any friends or anybody that you know that wants to come to the market on April 21st, you can invite them. Some of the teachers in the last session were saying that maybe it's a really good excuse to take the day off work to go to the farmers market. I am not saying that you should, but I'm also not saying that you shouldn't. So if you're not already coming with students, actually a lot of teachers have done that. They if they're thinking about doing the farmers market next year or something, they will actually get a sub and come to the market just to see what it's all about, to do some research on it. It's technically a field trip for CCSD, and yeah, it's a really, really fun one. Yes, field trip. So and we've actually even had, and this might actually work out a lot better with middle school and high school, but we've actually had schools come to the market without, like, students come to the market without actually like participating in selling, just to experience it if they're going to do it next year, like say in the fall. You're going to sign up in the fall, and you're just going to experience it for the first time. We've actually had a school do that before, which is really cool. I think it'd be hard with elementary, but maybe middle school and high school, the students could handle that and kind of check it out before actually participating in it. But yes, you would still have to follow all the field trip protocols and whatnot. But for our schools that do go to the farmers market, we are actually really well connected with CCSD. So we have regular meetings with them, making sure that everything is good to go with safety protocols and rules and regulations for field trips. We keep track of our schools, make sure they've got everything in that they need. And so we're very, very connected with Clark County School District. We work together to put this event on, essentially. So they're awesome. They're big supporters of it. So yeah, as long as we follow the rules and regulations, we're good, and they will support it. So more than 600 students from 58 schools will attend the market on April 21st, on Friday. They'll sell veggies and fruits or crafts and things that they've made. On average, they earn $350 per school, which I actually think is a low estimate. Given inflation, it'll probably be more. They actually reinvest all of the money that they make from their from selling back into their school garden program for their school, or hydroponics program for their school. So we do not take any of that money. We do take it to count it, and we run all the credit cards and whatnot, and we run count it and make sure everybody gets the right amount. But we give all of it back to the schools. Green Our Planet doesn't take any of it, and students actually make quite a bit of money. There was a high school, I think for the past few markets, they made these beautiful seed art pictures that are just gorgeous, and like they sold them for quite a bit, and people bought them. So it was just, I mean, they made, I think, the most money, but it was like the opportunities are really endless, and we'll go into that a little bit later on kind of what students typically sell at the market. But yes, students can actually make quite a bit of money. So one thing that I don't want to forget to mention ever when I'm talking about the farmers market is that these farmers markets, whether it's the Giant Student Farmers Market or just a farmers market that you are doing at your own school, they give back to the community. Fresh veggies and fruits can be scarce in a lot of places. There are lots of food deserts around Las Vegas, and with school gardens and hydroponic systems, the schools can actually provide healthy fruits and vegetables to their communities and people in need. A lot of schools have donated their produce, and like if they have an abundance of produce, they'll donate it to people who are in need, and food banks or anywhere that does not have access to fresh fruits and veggies, because it's all too common to be in a food desert and not have access to those sorts of things. Students and entrepreneurs, a teacher reported that tying the market to their experience of writing their business plans helped them understand the value of marketing, presentation, pricing, and handling money responsibly. The students had a more global view of how the market worked and how customer service impacted the success of our sales. So talk about real world experience. I mean, real adults in the real world talk about marketing and sales and things like the presentation and pricing of things. These are real world skills that students learn, not only from doing the Giant Student Farmers Market, but from doing farmers markets at their own school as well. So, and don't we all love student quotes? This one is from a 5th grade student. I didn't think we'd make that much money, but we had like a case full, so I'm very happy. That was one of the best days I've ever had, and it was really fun. So the students love it. They love feeling the ownership of selling the produce that they grew in their school garden and following through on a business plan that they made. It's really powerful. It truly is, for elementary, middle school, and high school. So so I'm going to touch on our financial literacy curriculum that we have available to you. And I'm actually going to give you the link to our curriculum right now. And I will also make sure you have access to all these slides so that you can access them for the future. But even if you are not in our program, whether it be hydroponics, outdoor garden, Garden Connect, all of our programs, I'm giving you access to the financial literacy curriculum because I believe that it is extremely important for teachers to have this. And for you being middle school and high school, we are always looking for feedback on our curriculum, especially when it comes to middle school and high school, because our organization wasn't originally geared towards middle school and high school, and we're going that way and trying to find more resources and curriculum to help our middle schools and high schools. So please, if you use this, give us feedback on it. Tell us what you think. We would love that. We're always looking to make things better for middle school and high school, especially. So I'm actually, before I do that, I'm going to go into the lessons to show you what it looks like when you open up that link. So it'll bring you to Google Drive, and you'll see elementary, high school, middle school. I'm going to open up high school really quickly. And in all three of them, elementary, middle, and high, you'll see handouts, lesson plans, and PowerPoint. So the handouts are different things that you can use to print off for students, or have them, or you can use like a PDF editor on their Chromebooks or anything like that. The lesson plans are for you as the teacher that guide you through teaching these lessons. And then we also have PowerPoints that go along with the lesson. And just so you know, these lessons were originally meant for a financial institution volunteer to come into a school and teach the lesson to students. We used to do that, and we don't anymore just because of funding and whatnot. But if you see any language that makes it sound funny like that, just knowing that that's the way that it used to be, it'll make sense to you. So when I was looking through just recently, I saw some of that, and I was thinking, I better mention that. So that's what it looks like, and that's what you'll have access to with that link. And I'm going to just really briefly go through what the lessons entail. I don't have time to go super in depth with everything, because I know middle school and high school, we really dive deep into these concepts. But I won't have time to go over everything, but I'll give you at least a good overview of what to expect so that you're ready to dive into it and use it with your students. All right, so we have lessons, like you saw, designed for 3rd through 5th as well, but today we'll focus on the lessons designed for 6th through 8th and 9th through 12th grade students. So the lessons are aligned to the Nevada Academic Content Standards for Social Studies, Financial Literacy, as well as the Council for Economic Education National Financial Literacy Standards. So they dive really deep into actual financial literacy concepts. And also just to note, the materials list for these lessons is pretty minimal, I would say. It's not anything too crazy. You have the handouts that are in that Google Drive link, and you'll probably need Chromebooks for students or a way to project things on the screen. But I wouldn't say that the materials list is crazy by any means. In the 6th through 8th lessons, which we're going to talk about first, there are 3 lessons, and they follow a very similar trajectory of our 3rd through 5th grade lessons, except for they're way more complex, and obviously because the grade level is higher, but they cover the same concept but go more in depth. So if you ever had students who have gone through this curriculum in 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade, they'll know some of the things you're talking about and where you're going with things, which is really cool. So for 6th through 8th grade, in the first lesson, lesson 1, students are introduced to the difference between careers and jobs and are asked to think about what they would like to do when they grow up. As they complete this activity, they have a chance to talk about entrepreneurship and the pros and cons of choosing it as a career path. Then they cover financial literacy concepts of how to select a savings account, compounding and simple interest, and sources of payment such as cash, credit, and debit. Lesson 2, students are introduced to the business plan and work in small groups to complete it. In middle school, the students are asked to come up with a mission statement for their business before writing their plan. And once this is complete, they also create a logo and a slogan, as well as a marketing strategy. Then they move on to write their business plan based on produce growing in their garden or hydroponic system or crafts they would like to sell at a market. And the same attention is paid to understanding startup costs, cost per unit, price per unit, things like that. So this is really cool because, I mean, coming up with a mission for your business and a marketing strategy, I mean, that's like actual things that real businesses do. I mean, Green Our Planet does that. So it's really cool because they're going through a real life situation where they're planning for this business where they're going to sell the produce that they grow in their garden or hydroponic system. I could go on about that, but I don't have all the time in the world, so I will keep going forward. In the final lesson, lesson 3, after reviewing the business plans, the teacher selects one to use for the farmers market business. And once that's complete, the students prepare to host or participate in a market by reviewing customer service skills and practicing them in mock customer service transactions. And special attention is given to open-ended versus closed-ended questions for this lesson. So it really walks them through the process from planning to actually going to a market and selling, which is really neat. For a high school, it's very similar to the middle school and elementary school, but just like I said, it builds on these concepts even more. So I'll read the description for high school, and then we'll go on and we'll look at each lesson too, just like we did for middle school. The financial literacy lessons are focused on developing a business plan and to take school garden produce and related products to the market. Students will propose a campus farmers market business by using a formal business plan that will include startup cost details. Students will learn how to best approach selecting a financial institution, and students will also learn how to prepare themselves for a successful borrowing relationship with financial institutions by understanding the criteria lenders use to grant requests. So some people ask sometimes why we call it financial institutions, and that's because we can't call it banks because credit unions are involved as well. So we just call it financial institutions. Just wanted to say that. I didn't say that in the last session, but a lot of people are like, financial institution, why don't you just say bank? We can't because we have sponsors that are credit unions too that helped us develop this. So that is why. So lesson 1 for a high school students with this lesson, they will be able to determine which type of financial institution would be the most appropriate for a given situation and how to obtain information to make an informed decision. They'll be able to define the 5 C's of credit, which are capacity, character, collateral, capital, and condition, and explain why these are important factors in establishing a lending relationship with a bank. And they learn the importance of credit reports, benefits and consequences of maintaining a good credit score. And I'm thinking I wish when I was in high school that I would have gone through this, because I maybe would have done a little bit better when I left high school and started becoming financially independent. So these are, honestly, I like to describe it as all of the things that we should be teaching in school. And we tried our best to include a lot of those things into these lessons. So for lesson 2, this one is all about writing a business plan, but students explore entrepreneurship. They create their business plan and decide what goods and produce will be sold at the farmer's market. And they learn about operating budget, expenses, and profits. So students dive deep into what is included in a business plan, which includes, but definitely wouldn't be limited to, things like business description and mission statement, legal ownership structures, so think sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, sub S corporation or corporation, etc. Products and services breakdown, marketing strategy, competitor analysis. They also do a SWOT analysis, which is something that we actually use at Green Our Planet. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Startup costs, calculating cost per unit, how pricing is established. It's really, truly a real business plan, which is really cool for these high school students to experience, especially things like the competitor analysis. That one, I mean, we do that at Green Our Planet. Like, that's actually something that we do. So it's real. It's real life, and students are getting really good experience with this stuff. I'm gonna keep going before I run out of time. Then lesson 3. This lesson is about reinforcing that character is a very important aspect in maintaining credit worthiness with financial institutions. They learn ways to protect themselves from identity theft, because this is especially important to prevent inaccuracies or negative impacts on credit reports and credit scores. They introduce a myriad of actions that they can take to help control the risks associated with identity theft. And they also, in this lesson, it asks them to pick at least 3 that they'll put in to action right away. And they review the farmer's market business plan that is essentially selected by the teacher from what the students create in the previous lesson. So very, very important things included in these lessons. So highly recommend using them in your classroom. I'll take a moment to just touch on the business plan. You'll see that these documents are in the handouts section of the Google Drive link that I sent you. And there's also there's a teacher resource tool and a business plan for the students. So that is included in the links. And one other thing that I like to mention is our virtual academy. If you go to greenourplanet.org and you search for our virtual academy under programs, we have a lot of really cool videos that have been developed by our film team at Green Our Planet. I will say most of these are geared towards elementary, but you will find, we'll talk about actually getting prepared for market and harvesting and whatnot just in a second. But the virtual academy has just a lot of really useful videos, not only just for students, but for teachers too, about actually harvesting your garden to get ready for a farmer's market. We also have Canvas lessons. However, I believe these are only for elementary school right now. We started developing these during COVID time, but I do not believe that we have these for middle school, high school yet, unless somebody's created them. But if you're curious, just search for Green Our Planet, and you'll find them for middle school and high school if they are available yet. Our curriculum team, I don't know, maybe they did develop those without me knowing, but that is available for CCSD. And now I'm going to talk a little bit more about actually running farmers markets, whether it's at the Green Our Planet Giant student farmers market, the field trip one, or if it's just one that you do at your school, both experiences are wonderful for your students, no matter the age. It's okay if you're not ready to go to the giant student farmers market and you just want to do one at your school, or maybe you don't have a garden yet, or you don't have a hydroponic system and you're just kind of learning about this. Just know that you can start out small. I know I showed you the video of the giant student farmers market. It seems like a lot because it is, but you can start small. A lot of our schools will do like an in-person farmers market, literally with a table at their school, and they'll have prices and sell just to their school community, which is awesome because you're giving back directly to your community. Another thing that schools have done are drive-through farmers markets with drop-off and pickup, and the drop-off and pickup area, which is really cool. And then a lot of schools have done like a mail-in farmers market type, or like a CSA type thing, where parents or even students could pick out what they want and turn in a money slip. With the drive-through markets, this one I think is really easy, especially if you just want to, if you want to start really, really small and just do like a donation jar for produce, and people can pick out whatever they want and then put money in the donation jar. I mean, usually schools are pretty successful with that, and it's a really good idea. It's a really good idea to start out small and not to like jump into something really, really big yet. It's just a great way to get your feet wet. Also, items to sell. Definitely schools sell produce at farmers markets, but it's not the only thing you can sell. Crafts are huge sellers at the giant student farmers market, especially magnets. This is my last session. I have magnets on my fridge from the farmers market in like 2017, 18 still, and everybody needs them, everybody uses them, and I always buy them from the farmers market. So if your school is there and they're selling magnets, I will probably buy them. And just any craft item, like that high school that does the seed art, like I was talking about earlier. I mean, like, get your art teachers involved, make some crafts. Upcycled crafts are really good to do, very popular. Bags, I didn't mention that to the last group. Bags, people like bags, like reusable bags. You could design them, paint on them or whatever, and sell them. So one school made bags out of t-shirts, which was really cool, like old t-shirts. Here's a couple of other ideas of what can be sold at a farmer's market. You could do spice herb and tea packets. If you're into drying your herbs, that's really fun. Mixed fruit and veggie bags. That one would be really fun for just like a really quick market. You could just do like a bag of veggies and they donate however much money they want to. Garden related crafts like birdhouses, or like some schools have made little like clothespin bugs, which are really cute with pom-poms. Seed art is on this list here. Homemade cosmetics, that might be something that high school or middle school students would really be into making. Like bath and body products type things with, let's say, like you have lavender growing in your garden and you want to make something with your lavender. Holiday related crafts are really cool, like cards and things. Also, one that's not on here is cut flowers, like bouquets of cut flowers. That would be really nice for like Mother's Day or things like that that students can sell. Before I forget, a teacher from the last session with elementary school had a really good question about how to get a license to have farmers markets and to sell produce. It was a really good question, because if you are doing farmers markets just at your school, according to the Nevada Department of Agriculture, you don't need to be worried about having a license for that. But if you go to the giant student farmers market, like the one I showed you in the video, you actually have to apply for a Nevada Department of Agriculture producer's certificate to sell produce. And the schools that come to the giant student farmers market that are part of our programs at Green Our Planet, we make sure that that process is easy for them. And you still have to go through the actual process of applying, but we keep track of it. We're friends with the Nevada Department of Agriculture. We know them. We know the lady who keeps track of all these things, and we make sure that everyone's doing the right thing. We've never had a school that had an issue with that, and we've never had to like turn someone down from the Giant Student Farmers Market because of that. And you don't have to have a certificate to sell crafts, but for produce you do. And then if you want to get into any sort of like making special things, like I'm like, I don't know, like salad dressings maybe, or something like that, that you would need a special license for. So we don't really, I mean, schools can definitely do that, but we help more with the producer certificate side of things on that end. So that was a really good question for my last session that I wanted to make sure I mentioned. But it's just a really good idea, though, if you're planning to do a farmer's market, to do a practice run before you actually have your real market. Make sure you know what's ready to be harvested, the best way to store it for the market. Our virtual academy actually has really good videos on how to harvest things, and you can get tips how to store things easily from our videos. You can prepare the bag. There's strings that you'll need in advance. The more things you do in advance, the better. And definitely middle school and high school students can help out with this. So, so some suggestions is that there can be too many cooks in the kitchen. Those exact words came from one of our teachers that we work with, Megan Fiesel. She said this exactly, and she rotates out her students who help at farmers market, so it's not too many kiddos at once. You can also, like make a schedule of helpers is what she does, and contact parents, obviously, if they're going to be arriving late home or things like that. Or I know high school, that's a little different, but maybe middle school, you would still need to consider some of those things. And then week before checklist, figure out what's ready to harvest, decide your pricing. I recommend using a whiteboard when you do pricing so that you can change it if you need to, especially at the Giant Student Farmers Market. You never know what the going prices are going to be. Bring a whiteboard so you can change it just in case. It's good marketing strategy, good sales strategy. Make signage, harvest any seeds and package those, prepare your packaging, find everything with wheels. Like coolers with wheels are good, wagons with wheels are great. Get out your harvesting tools, package non-food items, prep your money box. You'll get that from your front office at your school, prep your paperwork and whatnot. Pens and papers are good. And then the day of, it's best to harvest the day of. So if you can, do that. And then make sure you have a cooler ready to go, because you'll need a cooler. Emergency backpack, I think that's a required thing. But that is, honestly, I know it seems obvious, but it's good to think about those things. I will give you access to this PowerPoint. I realize I did go very fast through all that. I do not have a post survey for you, but I believe that there is one for the whole conference. But I'm going to send you right now in the chat the link to these slides. And if you ever need to get a hold of me to ask a question, anything at all, my email is right there on the screen.